Good morning, everybody, or afternoon or evening, depending on when you're viewing this. I'm going to go over some of the week 2 grading notes. I got all the grading done for the Internet Research Project. Most of you submitted your references and they were pretty good. The one thing I would say is there are a few of you who didn't submit a reference from the library, and I will accept that if it's submitted by this evening around by 5 o'clock. And if you're still having problems with that, please give me a call and or view the tutorial on how to access the library and do a search in the database. It should say retrieve from ProQuest or retrieve from Learn, so that I know that you did get it from one of the databases or EBSCO. But I need to know that it came from the library, and I will look it up to make sure that I'm able to retrieve it easily. So that's one of the things that I found. The other thing was the date of publication for the reference. In the assignment, it does call from 2015 on, and a few of the references, I know there's a lot of references out there that are older, which is it may not be pertinent to today's operations, so that's why I go 2015 and on for it to be credible. If you have a reference that's in question that's older and that it fits into your subject matter, you can include it. However, make sure that it is pertinent to today, and it cannot be one of your 3 that you have to to complete the paper. Submitting to the OWL. So this week, in week 3, you're supposed to submit to the OWL and have them review it. And then, so here's what should happen. By Sunday, you should already have submitted your, or submit your paper by Sunday. They have 24 to 72 hours to review it. Once they review it, they will send you, you'll get 2 emails. You'll get one, a confirmation email saying that they've received your submission, and with that submission should be your submission form as well as your rough draft paper. Then they'll send you a second email after they've reviewed it with their comments, and it will have 2 attachments. One is your submission form with comments and your paper with comments. Open those 2 attachments, save them to your computer, and then in week 3 go to Internet Research Project and then come down here, and depending on where you saved it to, whether you saved it to the cloud or if you saved it to the computer, go ahead and attach both of those documents. So you should have 2 documents. So if you hit browse my computer, if you saved it to your computer, documents, and I always use this was our Secret Santa gift exchange back in December, but it's an easily accessible Word document. So again, attach the submission form and your rough draft with their comments, and then hit submit, and that will suffice for this assignment. Now, once you get that back, look at the comments and incorporate them into your final draft before you submit it in week 4. A lot of times we'll go through this whole iteration of submitting it to the OWL, having them do their review, make their comments, send it back to you, but then the comments aren't incorporated into the paper. So why did we go through that exercise? So this only helps you write a better paper, and also helps to teach you how to write better. Alright, moving on to the discussion. Let me go to the discussion rubric right quick. Okay, so one of the first things I found was to get full credit for posting quality of responses to at least 2 other classmates. The minimum of 100 words has to exist. So all of your posts must be at least 100 words. That being said, if you're not posting the required amount of posts, your 4 separate posts on 3 separate days, I can't give you full credit for that because it's not fair to those who did post the full amount of posts. And so it affects this score as well. So make sure that you're posting your 4 separate posts on 3 separate days, and all your posts are at least 100 words. And the other thing on discussions were references and citations. If you're unclear on how to format a reference in a citation or when to use a reference in a citation, please review the APA comments or resources in the Program Resources section under APA Resources. Review some of these resources to learn how to use APA. And then if you're still confused, give me a call or email me and I'll try to walk you through it so that you better understand why you do a citation and a reference and when to use it and how to format it. Now, your midterm. Alrighty. Midterm. Alright, so for question 5, that seemed to be an issue for some of you got it. And I understand why you thought it was 1980s. Most of you answered it 1980s. The question was, when did the supply chain management concept capture the attention of senior level executives in many organizations? Well, if you look on page 19, references to supply chain management can be traced to the 1980s, but it was not until the 1990s that supply chains captured the attention of senior level management. So that's what the question was asking. When did it capture the attention of senior level executives? 1990s. So the question was on page 19. The next question that seemed to be an issue was question 19. Let's see. Software as a service, SaaS, is also called a blank. Now, this was found on page 68, and the response from the textbook reading was, cloud computing has changed the purchase landscape. Buyers can now use applications that are not normally or not permanently installed on a company's network. In the software as a service distribution model, software access is provided via the internet. It is a pay-as-you-go method that allows the customer to use software as needed. So it was C, pay-as-you-go. The next one was question 27. Looking at your profit and loss statement. Now this one, the wrong information was given. This should have been 14 million, not 17 million, so there's no way you could have gotten this answer. Some of you did guess, which was fine, and so you did get it right. Others put not enough information to tell, which was actually correct because this information was incorrect. So I gave credit for everyone got credit for this question because it was a bad question. Question 36 was the next question that everybody seemed to have, not everybody, but a few of you had problems with. Which event marked the beginning of the modern airline industry? Now, on this one, if you look at page 230, in 1908, the development of air transportation began with the U.S. Post Office examining the feasibility of providing airmail service. Although airplanes were used in World War I, the use of airplanes for mail transport can be considered the beginning of the modern airline industry. So that was in your reading as well. So the answer was D, the use of airplanes for mail transport. It wasn't the right first flight at Kitty Hawk, and it wasn't the U.S. Post Office. They were examining the use. They weren't using it at that point. And then it wasn't Lindbergh's flight, of course. Okay, the next one, the last one, is question 42. Based upon the number of passengers, what was the top airline in 2016? Now this one, if you looked at page 233, there was table 701 that listed all the airlines with the number of passengers that were flown during 2016, you would have found this answer, and the answer was C, Southwest. Okay. All right, so that's those were the issues that I found. If you have any questions about the grading, please give me a call. And I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. And as usual, if you have questions, give me a call. Send me an email. Like I said, email is probably better because I check it more frequently. And with calls, I may be in a meeting or away from the office. So you can try calling me, and then if you can't, then email me. Whatever works for you. All right? You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.